Ready? Hi, I'm Pastor Paul Wilson, pastor of Union Hill, Union Grove Baptist churches in Buckingham County, Virginia. Some of you might not know about the Atlantic Coast Pipeline, the 600-mile pipeline that will traverse Virginia, intersecting with the major pipeline called the Transco Pipeline, which is also in our community. A proposed compressor station, the only one for the Atlantic Coast Pipeline, is slated for our immediate community. And but my real discussion today, I believe, is about environmental injustice. Injustice. There are so many adjectives that I could put in front of that word injustice to describe what happens with projects like the Mountain Valley Pipeline, the Atlantic Coast Pipeline, any kind of major infrastructure that's going on in our country today. This is a different world, a changing world that we're living in, and there's so much more information that's readily available that we didn't know about, things that we did not know 50 and 60 years ago. Not only now do we see the destruction that happens after these major infrastructure projects are put in down the road, and then there's a cleanup effort, and then that's still not respected. Our community is a predominantly African American community, which has been in existence since the end of the Civil War. We're part of the last days of the Civil War. We're only about 25 or 30 miles northeast of Appomattox, where the Civil War ended. It's an historic district, and all types of injustices are being performed against us. These pipelines and these type situations is really all about corporate greed and money. All you really need to do to really understand what's going on is follow the money. People with their personal agendas, the greed for personal wealth and elitism, and it's permeating all of our government. People are being bought off, people are being abused, taken advantage of, and this is what all of this injustice is really about. So I'm here today, and because all of us, whether we're large groups, small groups, grassroots groups, we're all about one thing: truth. Now, Dominion Power, or Dominion Energy, which is the controlling partner for the Atlantic Coast Pipeline, I've maintained from the beginning that if there's any entity that can really stop these pipelines, it's the local church, churches and communities. Our community is being destroyed, wiped off the map, and we're being put in a position where there is no viable future for our community. Hold on. Don't feel bad, I ride a motorcycle too. Okay. God gave man dominion over the earth. God did not give dominion, energy, dominion over man. We have a responsibility to the earth. We have a responsibility to protect the air, to protect the water, the air that we breathe, to protect the water that we drink. There is no corporation or no government has the right on any shape, means, or form to ever put or question the quality of water and air and the attack that they have on land. Now, and this has a residual effect even to the animals that we sustain. Out in the rural areas where we are, we depend on ground wells for drinking water. And projects such as these major pipelines, they put the water aquifers into question and into jeopardy. Now, the immediate effect might be marginal. But as the years go by, history and record shows that we can expect great harm to our environments. And so it behooves us now to speak up and to stand up. The information is out there. Corporations, corporate greed, and even government, they have the mechanism to promote the propaganda, to try to control minds and to get people to think like they think. But the bottom line is, people like you and me, we have to survive. We have to live. And we should not be considered as sacrificial zones or give up our lives or our lifestyle. I don't know about you, but my life is just as important as anyone who lives in the metropolitan area. And of course, metropolitan folk, their lives are just as valuable as those of us who live in rural America. It's time now for corporate America and our government to rethink what they're doing and the long-term effect on the environment. Yes, Donald Trump, there is such a thing called climate change. You might deny it in your world, and there are those who support that line of thinking. But those of us, those folk like you and I, we know what's real. And so we face reality. It is not about money, but it's about our health. It is about our children's future and grandchildren's future. And it is about the future of our planet. So there are all types of injustice: social injustice, economic injustice, environmental injustice, community injustice, just injustice. But we need to stand up and speak truth. And that's my role as a man of faith, as a man of God, to speak truth to the issue and to keep my hands clean so that I can stand up and tell it just like it is. And so America needs to hear with people who are really affected by these things. And also pipelines, for example, and it's not just pipelines, but these type of projects ruin communities, and the people in those communities, they lose monetary value of their homes, of their lands that for many cases have been in their families for generations. And so America needs to rethink its energy needs right now, and we need to look more towards renewables. Renewables is the thing, and the fossil fuel industry is simply now in its death throes because they're clinging to the money. There's certain things in this country that money should not be the driving factor, and energy is one of those things. So I hope that I'm heard. Some might label me a communist. Some might label me a socialist. You can label me what you would have me, or whatever you would want to call me. I have no problem with that. But the truth is that I speak truth to the issue, and it is time for our communities to wake up and really see what's on the horizon. Today, these things are driven by money. Politicians are bought off. We need to look at how our politicians are elected in this country now, and the financing of all of those. And community leaders need to stand up to the issue. It's more than just what happens in your backyard. This whole thing is interrelated, and we need to see the big picture, or the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is not focused on the dollar, but the biggest picture is focused on humankind and what our responsibilities are to Mother Earth.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.